mean, it's honestly come as a shock to everybody. The fact that we're not even in the top 6 at the moment.
Yeah. I've been hearing the sharks are back in the water, they smell blood and everything.
If you think that's a derogatory thing to say to City, I want to say it's the biggest compliment you can give us.
Because if you go back a couple of seasons, you had an Anthony or a Garnacho on a wing who would run down the wing and then come back again.
I think unless we pull up our socks going ahead, I do not think Slot will be able to salvage the Premier League even in the top 4 with the current form.
Watching Spurs week in, week out, if you go and if you watch Spurs willingly for 90 minutes, I'm sorry, but you'd want to kill yourself.
We're going to have a Premier League discussion of the Big Six, but if you're a fan of a club who is not a traditional Big Six fan, you are free. We will have a last segment where we're going to have Q&A from the crowd as well, so you can obviously pitch in. All right, we're going to start with Madhurima, Liverpool. So I think all of us in the panel can agree that when the transfer window ended, most of us believe that Liverpool's going to be the team that wins the league this time, right? Is there anyone else who believes, nah, Liverpool ka nahi tha, right? So, same with you, Madhurima?
I mean, it's honestly come as a shock to everybody. The fact that we're not even in the top 6 at the moment, so to say. It's definitely been a very transitional season. So many new players, our entire forward line is completely altered. And the tricky thing is that even though some games were like the Aston Villa game, the Real Madrid game, we played really well. And then we come back to a loss with City. So there are going to be a lot of changes that are needed formation-wise. So nobody expected us to be not even in the top 6 at the moment. But I hope things change soon.
If you had to rate your season up till now out of 10, 6.5 being it's going as expected, what would you rate your season and what do you think went wrong with your season up till this point?
So far? So like I said, we came into the season winning the trophy and everybody expected us to be in, the head honchos of the season as the favorites. Players who came in new like Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak is injured now, Frimpong is injured. Everybody expected them to be, coming on like absolutely going gung-ho into the Premier League, which is not easy. But nobody's taken note of the players who are already there, like McAllister, Gravenberg, Van Dijk. Even their form has dipped. Barring Soboslai, I think nobody else is that consistent. So I think unless we pull up our socks going ahead, I do not think Slot will be able to salvage the Premier League even in the top 4 with the current form. So I would currently rate it as a 5.
Slow start hua tha. Like you guys started very slow in the Premier League, I'd say. Injuries thi, Cherki was injured as well. But now you've picked up pace and you're second and you're like, what, 1 victory behind us, 1 win and we drop points. And since we dropped points last game week, man, you guys won. I've been hearing the sharks are back in the water, they smell blood and everything. So first of all, let me ask you, from last season to this one, what's been the biggest difference for you?
I can sum up it in just one player's name actually, Nico Gonzalez. One player who's absolutely changed our season compared to the last season, upside down. And talking about the slow start, now if we look back 3-4 years down, City, Pep Guardiola in fact was known for a slower start in the league and then picking up pace during November, December. So I think what we are seeing right now is more reminiscent of that instead of what we've been having in the last couple of seasons. Matter of fact, the last season where we ended our lowest point tally in the recent history, and you can call it okay, it's a Haaland team, if you think that's a derogatory thing to say to City, I want to say it's the biggest compliment you can give us.
It's Haaland for sure. But who else, according to you, apart from Haaland and Nico, have stepped up and completely changed this season from last season?
Yeah, excellent observation. Apart from last year, one of the biggest problems in last year was filling the fullbacks positions void. We have Nico Riley, who, I mean, I'm sorry, Madhurima, but he he locked up Salah to an extent. So yeah, Nico Riley has been an exceptional addition to our strength of our squad. He was there, of course, last season. He started a string of games in the ending of last season. But this season, he's picked up a form that is benching Ait Nouri at this point. And Ait Nouri is one of the best left backs in the league.
I'd even say like Jeremy Doku's had a crazy good season this time. Like he is on another level. But speaking of another winger playing at another level, Shyam, Mr. Brian Ambomo, the latest Premier League man of the Premier League Player of the Month. Yeah, latest Premier League Player of the Month, Brian Ambomo. Ambomo ka kya impact raha hai, Shyam, according to you? The biggest thing that he's brought to Manchester United.
Goals. I mean, that's the biggest difference what we have been lacking for a couple of seasons now. And you finally have an out-and-out winger who's willing to attack, go past defenders, take on defenders. Because if you go back a couple of seasons, you had an Anthony or a Garnacho on a wing who would run down the wing and then come back again, put a pass in, not willing to take on defenders. And that's the biggest impact which we've had in Mbuemo joining us this season. Probably has to be, if, I don't know how the season ends, if it ends good for us, I think it has to be the signing of the season for us.
Like Madhurima started the whole thing, nobody expected Liverpool to be in 8th. But nobody expected United after the start, they had to be in 7th as well. Right? Yeah, I mean, it is the same points. Everyone's on 18. But,
I mean, in your defense clearly isn't working, so.
but
15th. Still, we are right now above you, so that ends it all.
Just November. It is
Forever the victim, never your fault.
it's just November, as Madhurima says. But Manchester United at this point of time, they've played Liverpool, they've played Arsenal, they've played Spurs, they've played City, they've played Chelsea. You've played every one of the
So
traditional
we are
6, right?
7th, and out of the top 6 above us, we've played 5 of them. We've just
Yeah.
not played Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So considering, so as a fan, when the fixtures came out, we were like, damn, a disastrous start to the season awaits, especially where we ended last season. But you call it a blessing that we are not in Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. We are just playing one game a week, which is giving the manager a lot more time to change, tweak his systems, or let the players understand how he wants to play. So that's been a blessing for us. Also, as a fan, you wouldn't want your team to be languishing and finishing 15th. But you have to accept as a fact that you've been papering over the cracks for a decade now, and finally, I think we have something which is working for us.
I'd move to Sneha now. By the way, you should follow Sneha on Twitter during Spurs match
absolutely
days.
not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely cinema. If you want absolute cinema, follow Sneha on Twitter during Spurs match
No,
days.
it's
You'll have.
just rage bait. It's just rage bait. I don't know how to monetize it. I'm working on it, but it's just rage bait.
Yeah, Sneha, there's been a weird vibe around Spurs. We were talking about it as well because
Yeah.
you guys also finished pretty low in the table last season. That was like a record number of matches you guys lost in the Prem last season. This season, before the ball was kicked, Madison out, Kulusevski out, Solanke has not been there. You've been missing players like completely. There's a new manager, Levy is gone. There's so much change at Spurs. And still you guys are 5th if I'm not wrong, right? You guys are 5th on 18 points, 4 points behind second place yet. But there's so many fans just discontent with what Thomas Frank has done. What do you think? What's happening?
I think the discontent more is about watching Spurs week in, week out. If you go and if you watch Spurs willingly for 90 minutes, I'm sorry, but you'd want to kill yourself. But it's like, it's that bad. It is very tough to watch 90 minutes Spurs. That we went from Ange Postecoglou,
Yeah.
who was high-line, who was like 9 men against Chelsea, I'm still gonna go give it my all and all that stuff. And then you come to Thomas Frank, and he's like, I mean, it's not so much about Thomas Frank as it is as much about your injuries and stuff, and obviously there's going to be changes and all of that. But do you see Spurs getting top 4 like United or whatever? I mean, I always back every manager that we have, but here it just feels like all those time you could still feel like you could enjoy football. You'd watch Spurs and you'd watch that attacking football and you'd like it. But here it's like, oh, you're not getting that either, but you're also not getting a lot of good signs that you're on the right track. So that is the discontent. It's not on Thomas Frank, it's not on Spurs. It's just like a very weird place to be in, very weird transitional phase to be in, because you're going from 100 to 0.
Is when they played Chelsea, and Chelsea absolutely dominated them. And Dhruv, I'm so sorry you've been waiting for so long. But let me ask you this. Third now, there's been murmurs of beach mein Maresca out when things don't go your way. Sometimes you'll have your Karabakh games and the Sunderland and the Brentford games. But then you're third. is this exactly how you expected the season to go? You're going to be in the conversation, or this is like, oh no, we're actually better than I actually thought we are?
No, when it comes to my opinion, I didn't think of the journey that we have been through. It's always been up and down, up and down. But yeah, I did prefer my team to be in the top 3 at least, with all the signings and the squad depth we have. Currently, we are majorly missing Levi Colwill and Palmer. But however, without Palmer, we have been, contemplating well with all the firepower we have. But Levi Colwill is a major missing because our defense again, not as bad as Liverpool, but yeah, they have been struggling. They have been struggling. I mean, every centre back has a mistake in him. Every one or the other game.
My centre back is busy doing Duolingo classes.
Exactly, exactly. And again, Robert Sanchez. You see one game against PSG in the Club World Cup final. He had his best.
He
game.
won like the goalkeeper of the tournament or something.
Goalkeeper
right?
of the tournament, and then starting from the Premier League, he's shown his true colors again.
Okay, before we proceed,
Yeah.
I think it's time we address the elephant on the top of the table right now. So what do you think? What do you think? Is this the year finally for Arteta?
Yeah. I think every year is the year for Arsenal. Even I heard all this. I hear this all the time that this is your best chance to win it because X Y Z is gonna happen. Otherwise next year nahi milega. I think that expectation was put on us every time. I think the first season when we were in the title race. Since then, every time we just expect to win. And even if we don't win it this season, I know we're going to be there again next season. Whether it's going to be City, Liverpool, or whoever. It's tough to break a duopoly of what they call City Pool. But I think this manager who's playing his 3rd full Champions League campaign has been expected to win one of the big ones, either the Prem or the Champions League. That's sort of testament to where he's brought us to as a team. But obviously, I think if we keep that momentum up, 100% we're going to win. On that note, we're going to end this panel. If I will take 2 questions from the audiences to any panel member, even to me. If you have any questions, just raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
I have question for the Arsenal guy. How does it feel to bottle every season? Okay, let me ask the easier one. How does it feel to see Spurs lifting a European trophy 3rd time?
Corner taken quickly. Iski tarah mic also given away quickly, dosto. Who else has a question for the panel? All right, Chintan, pehle Chintan ko de do. All right, let's start with this.
My question is to the Liverpool. You've been seeing Van Dijk's performance this season. So Virgil van Dijk, in the past 6 years, 7 years, he has been one of the best defenders in the world. I like him. I'm a Barca fan, but as a Barca fan, I do like him. What's your take on his performance? Like, he's really downgraded this season. So how do you feel about him being in the 11? Do Liverpool need to replace him next season, or keep him, or trust with him?
No, honestly, I said this in the beginning that we've had a very transitional season, right? Coming from a win to all our forwards getting this thing. The only thing people are not, and even the media is not talking about, is form dipping. And the consistency as well, which is affecting our defense clearly. All my contemporaries have taken digs on
Everyone loves your defense, huh? Thank you so much, everyone, for sitting very patiently through this panel. Always lovely to have my fellow Premier League fans as well. Thank you, Shubham, Sneha, Shyam, Dhruv, and Madhurima, guys.
that. And huge shout out to Daksh as
Thank
well.
you so
And
much, guys.
Akshada for organizing this.
Let's go, Akshada. All right. Thank you so much, guys.